Hello. So I thought I'd record this tutorial. Basically, it's going to be speedrun tutorial aimed at new players. It's not going to have like specific, like super difficult movement tech. It's not going to show every room optimally. It's not going to do all the OP strats, but it's going to basically describe the whole route in the easiest way possible. So if you want to speedrun the game, if you want to maybe just get the speedrun achievement or something like that, then that is what this is for. All the resources that you're going to need, I'm going to put in the description. You're going to need, if you actually want to practice and get good at it, a speedrun, this is for you. If you just want to do the speedrun achievement, you can just skip this. But you're going to need the debug mod and BepInX, and there's going to be tutorials for all of that in the links that I include in the description. First things first, you're going to come into your game options and change the game language to Chinese. Because while I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe the text scrolls at the same speed in every language in this game. However, Chinese has much less characters than any other language. So over the course of the run, all the talking that you do end up saving time. How much, I'm not quite sure, but it's quite literally free time save just for changing your language. And if you're not comfortable with that, totally fine. I will say there's not that much menuing you have to do in this route. So it's not a huge deal. But, you know, just whatever you're comfortable with is the most important thing, especially if you're not trying for a really competitive time. Whatever you're most comfortable with is what's the most important. So early on, there's not much that is going to be difficult. Now, the route that I'm going to go over is going to be the nail to mist cloak route, because I believe that is the easiest one. The bell route is faster, however, it requires a lot of difficult skips, and that are not noob friendly. So I figured as a super easy speedrun tutorial, you're not going to want to learn that first thing. So here we go. Very basic movement tech for early on in the run is jumping and doing a pogo. You do move faster while you're doing the little pogo animation. So it may be annoying, but this is what you're going to be doing pretty much until you get the dash, which is like 12 minutes into the run. Tiny skip here, you can actually pogo to get to that ledge. Now I could skip, what I'm going to do, what I think I'm going to do, I'm recording this and editing it together later. What I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to edit anything out. I feel like a lot of the times their speedrun tutorials, people just skip to like all like the strats and the bosses and stuff like that. But when I was learning speedruns, it's like, well, how the heck do I get there? I don't know which rooms to go through. And then you have to watch a whole run and copy them. So I figured I'd just put chapters everywhere and let you skip where you want. If you want to skip to a specific portion of the run, just go ahead, mouse over the video and look at the chapters and go where you want to go. Now you've seen me do a couple skips, like that one to the ledge. The second one I did, you saw me pogo into the stagger animation that Hornet has to go through. You save a bit of time by like that. Not the actual line for the, I wish I could have my mouse up, for the stagger is like right here, but you can pogo into it and save some time of not having to do this super slow moving animation. So on this one, it's right here. On the one before that, it was right after the second bush is where you do the pogo. Should have explained it before, but I was doing a spiel, so I'll do it now. Now here comes the first boss, Moss Mother. I will make a save state here and I'll try and explain. So basically, actually, no, I'll explain first and then do the fight. And then if the fight doesn't go well in the future for bosses, I'll save state beforehand, and then, but it's Moss Mother, it's not going to go poorly. Basically, what you're going to do is Moss Mother, you're going to hit the green pod right here before you come in, because when you kill the pod, the boss fight activates. Basically, you're just going to lure her to the right side of the room, lure her attack to the right side of the room. She's going to go to this little part of the ceiling right here, and you want her to do the slam attack right there. And so you can keep wailing on her. And then if you don't miss too many swings, then you'll be able to stagger her here. And then after the stagger, you're going to stay on the right side of her to bait her into another attack this way again. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm bending her to the right. So now she's naturally going to go over to the right to the ceiling here. And now, even if you don't get the stagger right away, stay on the right side of her to, again, oh, she usually doesn't do that, to bait her into attacks to the right side so you can keep hitting her. And then sometimes this will happen, and that's just part of life. That's just life. But the general gist is to keep her in this corner of the arena so you can keep hitting her as much as you want. And now we go out. You know what? I can probably skip past like all the cutscenes and crap, and just keep in the movement. Or maybe, I don't know. Don't you know what I want to do with that? I'm literally just doing this all freeform because I am working on another video, but I'm waiting on some stuff for that from someone in the community. And I need something to upload because Skong content is hot right now. So, figured I'd throw this together. Spam through the text, you don't need to say anything specific. Something else really nice in Silksong that wasn't the case in Hollow Knight. All dialogue options that give you a yes or no choice automatically is highlighted on yes. So you don't even have to menu in the Chinese. You don't have to know what is what. But yeah, basically, early game movement, like I said, just doing a full jump and pogo on repeat. This is all you need to do. There is a tech to do them much faster, like this, but that is much too difficult for somebody new to the game, or new to a speedrun rather. So just do the full jump pogo. You don't need to worry about the specifics. So the first part of the run is going to be going up to get Silkspear, and then killing the Bell Beast. Good old, what is Blue calling it? Era? I called it Bellamy in my playthrough. Before, oh, I guess maybe that's a spoiler, but yeah. So we're gonna do a little skip here. I'm gonna kill this guy so he doesn't get in the way. I recommend you do that because he can be annoying. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to lure this beast fly down here. We're going to bait him to attack us right about at this height right here. And then we're going to move a little bit to the left, pogo off of him to reach this ledge so we can skip the arena to the bottom left here and just get to Silkspear faster. So just bait him over here, climb up, he'll follow you. When he gets to about like right here, you're going to do a full jump so he keeps going upwards, because he doesn't attack you until he sees you on his level. So right when he gets to like about here, do a full jump to bait him into the attack. Like that. And then pogo him up onto the ledge. Now some people have some issues with that. Some people complain about it, some people say it's easy. My advice, just kill the guy on the ledge, because the walker skull guy on the ledge can be annoying. I'm trying to talk here, Chakra. Thank you. Just practice jumping at the right height. You don't have to go for the pogo right away. The most important part of that trick, I would say, is getting the beast fly at the correct height. That's the hardest part, because if he's not at the right height, and if you pogo him early, if you pogo him late, no matter what you do, you're always going to not be able to make it. So, anyways, okay. I forgot to mention this before. This is Future Cactus. I forgot to grab this, and then I got like a third of the way through the run before realizing that you have to grab this for the Nail 2 route. But you're gonna come over here and grab this coral thing to sell in Bellheart later on. And then you go get Silkspear. Okay, back to past Cactus. Bye. You do skip up here. And then the spear is literally right here. So we're going to... There's another skip you can do here. It's very, very, very easy. We're gonna stand here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna push taunt. If you didn't know, there's a taunt button in the game that attracts enemies' attention. On keyboard, the default is V. I don't know what it is on controller, unfortunately, because I'm a keyboard gamer. But you're going to taunt here. You're going to wait for the fly to attack you. And then you're going to jump up on this ledge and then jump and pogo and get up here faster. Very simple. Wait for him to attack. Jump up. Pogo. Gets him into the perfect position every time. The only way that can go poorly is if you leave the platform early before the fly gets to attack you. Because then his attack throws him out of whack and he's on the correct position. But literally it's the easiest speedrun trick ever. All you have to do is stand still. And then, yeah, it'll work most of the time. Now, going down to the Bell Beast. Now there is a quick kill that I'm going to try, to do. Okay, I'm just gonna cheat myself some health back there. I probably would not recommend this for a new runner. If you're a new runner or you're just doing the speedrun achievement, you can just kill the boss. It's not gonna be a huge deal. Or it's not gonna be a huge time loss. The boss itself is pretty easy. But there is a damage cycle you can do to kill the boss before the phase 2 attack where all the bells fall down from the ceiling and it's really slow to miss. So basically, what you need to keep in mind is you need to get to the bell beast to a certain damage threshold, and then you're going to do a certain damage rotation. And so by what I mean by that is the first part of the damage rotation is as soon as the bell beast stops screaming, we're going to swing the nail 8 times, needle, whatever. And then immediately after the 8th nail, you throw out a Silkspear. That'll perfectly time it so that when the bell beast comes out of the ground, you hit them with the Silkspear. And then that gives you time to do 1, 2, 3, 4 needles, and then another Silkspear as they go down in the ground over here. Then after that, you need 4 nails, and then you do the same damage rotation. As a Silkspear, 4 needle hits, and a Silkspear. The most important part of this is keeping track of the damage rotation up until the second spear, needle, 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 spear. Basically, you can miss a couple swings on the first rotation, and as long as you keep in mind what you missed and you make up for that before you start the second rotation, you can still make the damage cycle. And then after we get the second damage, I should make a save state probably so I don't. Yes, it does. And then after the second damage rotation, when the bell beast comes out of the ground in the middle to scream at you to start the second phase, you're going to buffer. As soon as the ground stops jumping, you're gonna do 2 needle hits to time it, and then you can do 1, 2, 3 Silkspear when they come out of the ground. So hopefully, after saying all that, I can get it correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay, this is fine. Actually, so I need 3 more needle hits. I need 1 more needle hit. That's unfortunate. We really like the jumping RNG. Okay, so now is the second damage rotation. I'm gonna wait for it to do a jump attack because I'm more comfortable with that. All right, we're getting punished for it, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I fucked up. Shit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. I think we got it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Now, like I said, brand new runner, probably you don't have to learn that. Just fight the boss and kill it. But if you'd like to learn something that's pretty cool, and it's easier to practice with debug mod as well. I feel like casual runners probably aren't going to get the debug mod unless you really want to, because it's fun to mess around with. But yeah, just kill Bell Beast. Whether you do the fast or slow version. The fast version saves, like if you're speedrunning, fast version saves like 10 to 15 seconds. But if you're new to the run and you're just trying to kill stuff, it probably is not that important to learn. Now, where are we going now? We are going to get the dash. We go through Hunter's March for that. There's an arena. Again, just kill the stuff in the arena. There is a proper quote-unquote damage cycle that I'll try to show for the most part. Don't have to worry about that. Okay. Now going over here to ring the bell, there are a couple instances in this game where you can skip animations of things. For example, this bell, you don't have to sit here and wait for the whole animation to play. As soon as you hit the lever, you can just leave the room and then come back and the door will be open. So they save all the time waiting for that bell to ring. And then there are other things later on that are you can skip by doing a save and quit, but I think there's not too many of those in the run and they're all in Act 2. So don't need to worry about that at the moment. But yeah, now we're making our way over to the dash. Not that much to see here. Oops, don't do that. I gotta go down here. This is a nifty thing you can do. You don't, obviously if you don't do this, just land on ledges and make your way safely down. But as soon as you pass this ledge here, just do 2 pogos and you'll make it there to the ledge. You can feel like a badass. The early game movement can be pretty annoying just by pure. In Hollow Knight, you were allowed to kind of just like autopilot the early game because all you had to do was walk around and like do the occasional fireball, right? In Silksong, you really have no downtime because you either have to be pogoing or you're dashing and doing movement. It's more involved than it was in Hollow Knight. Another skip we're doing here, we're gonna lure this bell guy up to the top right. And it's very simple. He can be kind of annoying, but I've found it the most consistent. When we get up to the top platform, stand on the very, very left banister, and he will usually float directly where we want him to be and then we're gonna pogo off of him. And if you miss this, you can just go hit the lever, but we're standing over here on the banister. Look at that, he comes around the platform, pogo on his head and get up. Super free. Making our way through this room. Again, the pogos are your friend. If you can, you want to pogo off of something else to pogo again, because it lets you pogo faster, basically. Now you can pogo off this guy to get up here, or you can just go around to the right. Either way is fine. But now we're making our way up into the ant arena. Now there are a couple different routes for this run. There's nail one, mist, there's nail one, judgment route, and then there's nail 2 of each variety as well. This is going to be the nail 2 route because nail 2 is the most noob friendly and actually honestly makes act 2 a lot easier, obviously. Don't do nail 1 unless you're going for like a respectable speedrun time, but nail 2 takes around a minute and a half, I think, to upgrade to compared to nail 1. But that minute and a half is well worth it, especially for somebody new to the category. All right, so now we're picking up dash. And dash makes the run a lot more complicated because now we have to decide where to jump, what to do. The movement tech in Silksong is very spammy when you get the dash. There is jump dash spam where you literally just put jump and dash over and over and over. There is pogo dash cancels, basically, where you do this, you pogo and then dash immediately to carry the momentum. But new to the run, just hold dash. Just hold dash and run, jump when you need to. You don't need to worry about that kind of thing. All right, so now we're fighting Lace 1. Little known fact, I say little known facts, a lot of people seem to not know this. If you knock Lace into the lava, it does 40 damage, which is a lot, because early game, your nail only deals 5. So you're dealing 8 nail hits worth. So technically, I think just killing her as fast as you can is faster than this. But new to the run, I'd say lure her to the edge of the platform and knock her when she staggers. Knock her into the lava. I believe it takes 8. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it's 11, 9, 10. All right, so she had 10 hits. Now we're here for the 11th. Into the lava. And you can also spear her coming out of it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait for her to come to the ledge. 11. Boop. And then she dies before you can do it a third time, I think. Yeah. Super easy. Super simple. You saw me going for a spear when she jumps out of the lava. When you know, like that little animation where she hops out of the lava and then comes back on stage, you can actually spear her before she teleports onto stage. So yeah, we're just gonna be running. That's another bell thing. Again, we leave and come back. Super easy. So now we're going to get the cloak. The old speedrun route did not have to get cloak because there was a skip in Act 2. Normally requires cloak that you didn't need cloak anymore for, but Team Cherry patched it out. So you are required to get cloak now, even though down patching is allowed for normal speedruns. We're just not going to deal with that. So if you remember in your casual playthrough, to get the cloak, you have to do the Hoaker quest. There is an optimal way to do that. Basically, we only have to reload the room one time because there's 2 Hoakers in the room very close to each other. We're going to get all the spines we can from the left Hoaker first before going to the right one. And then after we kill the right one, you're going to use the spear on the ceiling because the Silkspear actually detaches the spikes from the ceiling that is right above the Hoaker. So it gets you a bunch of them for free. And then you can leave the room and come back. And it's the one on the right again. So here, kill this first one. That's good RNG right there. Getting the 3 on the ground is very good. You can actually hit these while they're in the air. So if there's any of them that are horizontal like this, you'll want to just jump and hit them real quick and hit them out of the air. Alright, right, now we're doing this one. You do have to wait a little bit for the Hoaker spines to come out before you hit them again, because there is a small amount of time where the Hoaker is just sitting there, the spines are out, but they won't shoot them out again. So if you hit them too early, you're wasting a free collection cycle, basically. Wait a bit, and then on the third one you can just kill them right away and they'll sprout new spines right away, so you don't have to worry about it the third time. But the second time you do have to wait a little bit. And we got all we need. As soon as the text is in Chinese, but when you see that the collection is yellow, when the collection notification is yellow, that means you've collected everything, so you can save and quit. Back to the bench. So now, this is probably the hardest trick in the run, speedrun trick wise. For new players, it's called fourth chorus skip. Now you could just fight fourth chorus and not lose out on too much time. You'll definitely get the speedrun achievement just by following the route. But the fourth chorus skip there's a very hard version and a version that's kind of difficult to mess up. Now, if you're practicing this for the speedrun, I would recommend using debug mod to scroll your camera out. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to run across the fourth chorus's platform, but he is going to activate and force the camera to be paused. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and collect this silk, so we're at full silk, because the skip does require silk. So what's going to happen is you're going to run off the left side of the platform, do a full jump, don't stop running, like you're going to jump from the run, and then when you're at the peak of your jump off camera, you're going to float. You're going to activate a float, and then you're going to be holding left this whole time. And then immediately when the camera pans, you're going to dash and then repress float as fast as you can. Dash and repress float as fast as you can. This is the hard version. And if you do that exactly properly correct, you will be able to grab the ledge of the blown platform on the very left side. Now, the most important part of this, firstly, getting the full jump height, getting the float when you're at maximum jump height, which is the harder part because you can't see the character. Which is why I recommended that you zoom out your camera to practice it so you can see, and then get the muscle memory for that down. Now, the reason I mentioned the hard one first is because you can't do the easy version until after fourth chorus screams, because the easy version incorporates a heal to carry your momentum. And if you start the heal before fourth chorus screams, he will scream, staggering you, and then you fall in the lava and you lose all your silk. So, not a good idea. The heal version is kind of the same thing. You're going to float. You're going to do the jump, float at max height, and then when the camera pans, you dash and then immediately heal, and the dash will carry the momentum into the heal, and then after the heal is done, then you will refresh the float, and then you will hold left, and it's much easier to make it to the platform. So I'll try both of them. If I make the first one, I'll load a save state to show you the second one. So let's try and get the first one so I don't look stupid. I did not get the first one. Okay, let's try this again. I did not get a high enough jump there. I'll try the heal one. And now we're doing the same thing. Jump, float, heal. Oh no, shoot. Hold. I did it out of order. Oh, never mind, I hit it. No. So sometimes, as you saw, you can mess it up, but you can still kind of clip the hazard respawn coordinate thing. But let's try it again the proper way. Okay, failed that one. That's fine. You get to do the heal. Heal, dash heal, carry the momentum, float again, and we got the ledge. See, that's much easier. I'll only show that one. You don't need to see the difficult one because you probably won't be performing it. But you got the gist of that. So now we're making our way up into Greymoor. So we can get to Bellheart and the Cling Grip past that. And then we're almost done with Act 1 because then all we have to do is Widow and then go through Sinner's Road. And this is the best part of the run because we get to see Shermer. This is the only part of the run you get to see Shermer. So you say hi to Shermer as we run through here. Oh, okay. Well, don't do that. I'm just gonna give myself full health again. Now there is a silly spear and step care you can do with these guys. If they're in the correct position, you can just pogo off of them up here, and then instead of activating the thing, Sometimes they're not in the position for that. It's kind of an RNG thing you just have to keep your mind open for. But there we go. Now we are into Greymoor. And the arena we're coming up on, you do have to go through on the way to Moorwing. There is a proper way to do it. It's pretty simple. I will try and explain it beforehand, but it's very, very simple. So you should not have too much trouble with it. All right, so there's going to be 2 guys here that spawn. When the first one spawns, you're going to hit it twice to the right with the needle, and then you're going to dash after it and spear. And that should make the spear hit both of them that spawn. And then you kill the other one with 2 spears, and then you just kill the big wormy guy. So 1, 2, dash spear. Let me... What? Wait, what? Wait, how did he die? I'm so confused. How did he die? Did I... Oh, I think I know what happened. I think I accidentally increased my nail damage. Oh, nice. Okay, here we go. 1, 2... Spear, and kill. And now we just kill this guy. 1, 2, spear. And kill him. Easy. If you get hurt there, you'll probably want to heal up for Moorwing, because Moorwing can be a little annoying in the spacing department if you're new to the run. So I'll just grab this heal real quick. All right, so as we make our way to Moorwing at a normal timescale, we're going to open up this gate on the right here because we're going to come back. We're going to come back this way after we kill Moorwing, and this saves time having to wait for the gate to open if we open it now. So, Moorwing. The most important thing about Moorwing is spacing. I would say if you're going to learn this fight, the most important thing is to wait and see what Moorwing is going to do. They have very specific tells for all of their attacks. The most important one to watch out for is the one where they sweep out with their claws to deal 2 damage to you. And that's super easy to tell when it's coming because they go and then they attack. So as soon as you hear that, you just back away. Or if you're trying to push damage, you can jump and dodge the hitbox and hit them while they're attacking. Only use spears when they're on the ground. When you stagger them, you can get in 2 attacks in a spear before they go back up in the air. Just keep hitting them and then stagger and kill. There's not too much to this fight. Phase 2 can be kind of annoying, but I think with enough practice, you should be able to kill it fairly fast. So here we go. We're going to nail. You can do this little... There, they did the... So I just dash away. And you can get a cheeky pogo in there if you time it well. Dash away when they do the attack. Jump over, just keep hitting them. 1, 2, spear. Keep going. Get a pogo as they fly by. They're already in phase 2. Pogo as they fly by. When they do it in phase 2, you can just float to dodge the attacks. Spear. 2. Just hit them from underneath here, and then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. They should stagger soon here. They make a silly dash away. Oh. If you're not careful though, you can get squished. Just be mindful of how soon they're gonna stagger. Don't do it if they're underneath them. And there you go. Super easy. That back attack is probably the most annoying to deal with when you're first learning the fight, because it can be hard to learn the spacing for Moorwing, as well as, you know, its tells. But like I said, with just a little bit of practice, you should be good to go with that. Now, if you got hurt in Moorwing, you can grab this bench and Bellheart real quick. If you did not, and you're at full HP like I am, you can just run right past. We'll come back here eventually anyways. But now we are on our way to get Cling Grip, and then we will fight Widow. Now, Widow is kind of scary in that they move very fast, but the bells and such are easy enough to dodge if you be mindful and play slow. That I think I can... Oh, you know what? I'll explain it when I get there. You can do this cheeky little skip by pogoing off of this guy. Let the full pogo go off, like, and get up in the air before you do the float, and then you can dash onto the ledge. So this arena is pretty simple. I like to kill the stick bugs first. I don't know if that's faster, but that's what I would recommend for the phase 3. For this first phase, you're just going to hit this one for 3 nail hits, and then spear this guy on the left. And then you can just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump over the things. And then just keep hitting them. And then just jump And then when the two stick bugs go to one side of the arena, it doesn't really matter which, you're gonna nail the closest stick bug twice, spear them both, and then hit the other one twice to kill it. And it's pretty simple. So we'll just do that real quick. We go 1, 2, 3, jump, spear, get to the left side. 1, 2, spear. Watch out. 1, 2. Now we do the same thing. 1, 2, spear. 1, 2. And then wait for him to come down. And there we go. Super simple. All right, and now we're making our way to the clean grip. There are a couple skips before clean grip you can do. The first one is very simple, and I recommend everybody do it because you can completely skip Sister Splinter. You don't have to do the boss fight at all. And it's very easy to perform. I'll show you when we get there. And the second one is not as required, but it makes you feel like a badass. So I'll still show it off, even though I wouldn't recommend it for newer players. If you want to just get a taste of what speedrun tech is like, have a tiny sip of the Kool-Aid, so to speak. So this first skip is called Garma skip, because it uses the taunt that we used earlier on that first fly. We're gonna lure this guy over here. I do it 4 times, and then he's in range for the ground, and then you just do it on the ground. So we're luring this guy around the corner here. And then once he's around the corner, we're gonna go up here and get him all the way around. And now he's gonna float back up and to the left. And we're going to pogo off of him when he gets about like, again, this vine in the background here. When he gets about like a little above it, like right here maybe, you're gonna pogo off of him and get to this ledge up here. So wait for him to float, he's right above it. Pogo up here, super free. Now this next one is the one that you don't have to do, but is really cool. So you're going to collect enough soul for a full heal. So what's going to happen is you're going to be dashing into this room. You're going to do a full jump off the corner of the ledge, like as light as possible, which is like, you don't have that much time, so you still have to react to it, but you want it to be as light as possible. You're going to do a float in midair. You're going to be holding left this whole time. And hopefully this flower guy that's in this room over here to the left, you'll get his attention. And once you're in range of him, you're going to dash heal like we did for the 4th chorus skip. And then you should be on the left side of him, and then he will hit you up on the ledge to the left, and you'll skip this whole platforming section to the left. Like I said, if you don't want to do this, you can just do the platforming. You don't have to do this. It's just a really cool trick, and I thought I'd try and teach you guys. So here we go. Jump, float, wait, we're in range, so now we dash heal, and we missed. Sometimes you can be a little too high. That or I was too low. It could certainly be my fault. Let's try again. Dash heal. I'm on the right side of him, so... Oh, no, it worked. Just like that. Sometimes he may be a little high. I think what I was doing there was I was doing the dash not early enough. So yeah, just keep trying that. And then we get up to clean grip, super easy. And we are already almost... We are 1/3 of the way through the run at clean grip. So now we're making our way to Widow. Important thing to remember with Widow, well, not to remember, just I guess the most important thing in general is to keep track of the bell trajectories. Like, oh, the most important thing is to dodge the attacks, Cactus. Wow, thank you. No, I know, but it can be hard for new players to have a pinky of awareness on both the boss and the bells at the same time, especially in the second phase when the bells get more hectic. There's a cycle you can get through here that's pretty easy to get as long as you're not too slow. If you break through these walls fast enough, you actually can damage tank on this first guy and then float and make it to here without having to wait for this super long cycle. And that saves like a decent amount of time. And you don't need soul going into the fight anyway, so if you don't feel comfortable going in on 3 HP, just go for a heal right here before you start the fight. Now, the other thing to remember this fight is the primary form of damage is going to be dash attack into normal attack. Because Widow likes to move around the arena a lot. Sometimes she like spawn over here and spawn over there. You're going to be doing a lot of running across, and you can actually it kind of cancels into itself. You get a bunch of free hits in, and then there are punishes with the spear, where if she does any running attack, basically any attack where she's running on the floor, just jump over here. Okay, so sorry, if she's doing the one where she starts in the air, goes on the ground, and attacks you on the ground, then you just jump over here and spear from behind. If she's doing the one where she's on the floor and you go and like making the stuff come out of the ground, then you just do the spear first and then just jump over and pogo the thing. And then phase 2 is more the same. You dash into her, attack her with a dash attack, normal attack, wail on her with the normal attacks, If she ever tries to jump away or is running on the ground, you throw a spear, and I think that's everything. And then just try and just copy. Oops, you don't need to talk to her. Also, you can do another taunt to skip the text boxes. It saves some more time. But here we go. I'll try and show a good fight here. Alright, she's doing this. I jump over. If I had enough spear, I would silk her there. If I had enough silk, I would spear her there. Right. I'm not doing a good job of showing the dash attacks. 1, 2. You can punish those with the 1, 2 nail. Jump over, spear from behind. If I had enough spear there, I said it again. If I had enough silk there, I would spear her. Dash attack, hit her twice. I don't know how that bell didn't hit me. When she does this, when she hides in the bells like that, you can throw a spear as well. And then throw a spear while she's staggered. Throw a spear while she runs away. Jump over here. Don't even interact with that because the hitbox is a lot bigger than it looks. Alright, you can squeeze in a little damage here when she comes in for the second phase. So you can dash into her for a free hit. Jump over her, throw a spear, dash attack, 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 throw a spear, dash attack, ooh. Dash attack, attack. If you got low HP, find a good time to heal, which is like anytime after she throws a bell, you can kind of guess the trajectory and get into a safe space and then heal before she has a chance to throw the next attack. You should always have an opportunity to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Dash attack and do a normal attack, wail on her, dodge the bells, punish her running attacks with spears, and yeah, should be it. Punish the staggers with spears, punish the phase 2 transition if you can. You can also do that with a spear, but you have to get the timing down for the phase 2 transition, basically. That's a little more difficult, but for now we will continue on. Now, we are going to a very, very interesting part of the run. We're about to go to the Mist. The Mist is a very interesting section of the run. Personally, it's one of my favorite sections of the run. A lot of runners hate it because of the RNG factor, and there is an RNG factor, it's very true. But I like it because it gives the player a lot of skill expression. Like there's a lot of knowledge needed and a lot of calls on the fly that need to be made by the runner based on the RNG you get to give yourself the quote-unquote optimal route through. Basically, all of the super delicate intricacies I won't go over. I'm including the Mist document in the description. There's a whole Google Doc that members of the community wrote up, and it's very well detailed. It's actually a really cool read. If you're interested in the mechanics behind things, I would suggest taking a peek at it. Go down that route of like getting super into it instead of just like, you know, making your way through the Mist like for the speedrun achievement or something. I recommend giving it a look because I like to know how things work. But anyways, the most important things to remember for the Mist. Maybe I should wait until we actually get there. Well, no, I like to yap. I like to yap. The most important thing to remember for the Mist, there are 6 rooms you need to traverse through, quote unquote, correctly in order to make it out of the Mist. This is one of those save and quit things, by the way. You hit the lever. As soon as the lever goes back underground, you can save and quit to the menu and skip the whole bell animation. There are 6 rooms in the Mist you need to get through, including the middle room that's just a long hallway. For the first and second rooms, you're just going to do it the normal way. Play the needle in for your little bug buddies to find the correct exit to go through. The third and sixth rooms are special because they are scripted. If you remember, the fourth room is the hallway that you just run through to get to the opposite side. The fourth room, the exit to the fourth room from the third room will always be on a left or right facing exit. Meaning, as soon as you enter the third room, you don't need to play the needle in for the bugs. At literally any left or right facing exit in any room that you are in, except for if you just, there are a couple of niche situations where the room you go into doesn't have a second, a right facing transition or a left facing transition, and you are kind of screwed. And in those cases, you just have to play the bugs again. If that comes up, I'll point it out and explain it to you guys. But firstly, we're going to sell the commandment to the bug, and we're going to talk to the needlesmith and get our needle upgraded once. So the third room, you always go for a left or right door. The fourth room is the hallway. The fifth room is another normal room where you have to play the needle in for the bugs. And then the sixth room is always going to be a right-facing transition. It's not any right-facing transition like the left or the right one is for room 4. After we upgrade the needle, by the way, we're unlocking this bell way for later, for when we upgrade our needle to needle 2. There are a couple rooms. So the mist, if you aren't aware, is comprised of 7 randomly chosen rooms that you know, they sort through each other randomly, and you have to work through them. So if you memorize each of the rooms, you can actually just know exactly which room you're in at any given time from just like the entryway from whenever you come in. But that's for the really dedicated people. If you're not super into it, you can just get by with the normal tips and tricks that I listed before. But where was I? Anyways, the 6th room, all you have to do is, if you are in a room with multiple right-facing transitions, which there are a couple, like at the very least, you should have that knowledge in your brain, like which rooms have the 2 rightward-facing transitions. I think there's 2 of them. In those cases, you do have to play the needle in to see which of the 2 right transitions is the correct one. That shouldn't happen a lot of the time, but you may have to deal with it. Anyways, in this room, you really don't want to get these guys' attention. Any damage you take in between the end of Widow and the start of Mist is very bad, because it's hard to get Silk in the Mist, and it's not easy to get Silk to heal in Cinder's Road. So the pathing through this room is to go above this cage here, go below the one up here, and then go above again. So above, below, above. And then you can get past the dogs without drawing their attention. Now this is my favorite skip. This is my favorite skip because I named this skip. This is a very good skip. We call this Timothy skip because, as you just heard, this guy just said Chalamet, which is Timothy Chalamet's name. So basically, it's super easy with Cloak. What you're going to do is you're going to run into the room. Timothy will always be in the same spot. He always flies up and to the left. So we're going to run to the room, pogo Timothy, and then float over to the left of him, so he floats up and to the right. And then we are going to, it's pretty easy to react to. You're going to float and pogo and such until you can get high enough to dash into the wall of the cage here. I'll show you what that looks like. So we're pogoing, floating to the left, pogo again, until you can dash into the cage. That will take a bit of practice of getting used to. Timothy can sometimes do some silly movements, or he can throw his bola in a weird way that can mess with you. But with Cloak, you should be able to get it consistently pretty easily. And now we just go over here to the secret entrance to the mist, and I will try and explain my thought process as best I can. This guy can't hit you with his chain like that if you're not careful, so just watch him if he gets too close. So, let's do a mist, shall we? Maybe I'll make a save state here just in case things go too well or I fall out. I gotta explain something new. Okay, so first room, remember. First room, we are looking for friends to play the needle in for. We get lucky. There's some right next to the entrance here. You can kind of get them through a wall. If the wall, they're too far away, they won't hear you. So just be mindful that sometimes... Okay, so they went to the top left. So we make our way to the top left in this room here. Second room, we still have to play for the needle in for them. We got lucky again. Sometimes you have to hunt for the bugs. They're not always going to be right near the entrance, but we're getting lucky here. So we're going to the left. That's not my favorite. That's fine. Now, is that too advanced? That's too advanced. I won't mention that. Never mind. All right, so this one, we just have to go to the left. Remember, the third in the third room. Oops, you just have to find a left or right facing transition and run through it. And there's a left one on the far side over here. So we will just go to the left. And here we are in room 4. And we just run through room 4. Room 5 is going to be another needle in room. We just play the needle in for the bugs. This is the tall room, which just kind of sucks because, yeah, there can be a lot of spawns. These guys, when you upgrade your nail, they die in 2 nail hits and a spear. Oop. And a spear. Play for the bugs. Maybe I'll do a couple myths just to show you thought processes. Oop. Okay, there we go through here. Now, actually no. So this is the situation I was talking about. Sometimes you come into a room for the 6th room and you don't have a rightward facing transition, or you come out of the only rightward facing transition. And now in these cases, you can go through this room to play the bugs, to play for the bugs, to find the correct exit, and then hopefully end up in another room that gives you a rightward facing transition. Or the way the mist functions is each correct exit you get adds to an internal counter in the game. And then once that internal counter gets to a high enough number, then you get out. But the game doesn't punish you for taking the wrong exit a single time. So if you go back in the room you just came out of, this isn't the correct transition, but if you go in the room you just came out of, the counter doesn't decrease until you take 2 wrong turns. So instead of going through that room is getting body blocked by a specter you could see. We would have to run through the specter, hit the specter a bunch of times, collect silk. Maybe we would get hit, we'd have to heal. But instead of doing that, you can just come back in the room we just came out of and just go to the right here, and it still counts as a rightward facing transition. Because like I said, it doesn't decrease the counter unless you take 2 incorrect rooms in a row. And we went once, but the game's like, oh, he does it one more time, he's gonna lose his count. But because we went through the rightward facing transition, which is the quote unquote correct transition to go through, at that point, we don't get punished. I'll run through it one more time, just so I can explain my thought process and you can get kind of an idea of what you're looking for. So, first room, we're running in, we're looking for some bugs to play for. Like I said, sometimes they don't spawn right away. Here they are. All right, guys, where are we going? We are going straight up. Perfect. Now, we can use this fact I just taught you. Instead of going into this really big room looking for more bugs, we can go back into this teeny tiny room and play for the same bugs that we just got. And this still counts, because remember, you only lose the count if you go into the wrong transition twice, not just once. So this still is adding to the count. And guess what? There's a leftward facing transitions over here. So we can just go back again into the same room we just came out of and spam this one room that we like for exits. And you can do this with any room that you like. Any of your... Oh, just don't fall out. We'll just go to the leftward facing transition over here. And that counts. And now we're in room 4. So that's just one of the reasons that I think the miss is really cool. This is like, you can call an audible at any time. You're like, this room's too big. I don't like this room. I'm gonna go back. I think we go back and just do that one room. You know what I mean? There's like so many choices to make at any given time. There's a lot of game knowledge required from the runner to know when it's okay to take that kind of risk. I just think it's a really cool section. So we're in room 4. We're gonna play for, or room 5. We're gonna play for the bugs. We're going to the top left, which is very good. I love the top left here, not bottom right. I think I have to go. Do I have to go this way? And right here. Okay, and now we're looking for a rightward facing transition, which there is one up here to the right. We got a bad spawn, so the trapdoor is on the wrong side. Okay, apparently I can't make that jump. Apparently. Now you can get these guys' attention if you're just running past them, like I am. It's just it. And there we go. And now we're out. So there you go. Like I said, if you really want to know the intricacies, you can study the document. But for the most part, the only thing you really need to keep in mind is the first and second room needle in, third room left or right, fourth room is a freebie, fifth room needle in, sixth room right. And that's it. And I would recommend grabbing the safety bench if you're new to the run for the Phantom boss fight. Phantom is not too difficult, but the spacing of her can be a little weird. All right, you can actually make that if you're fast enough, unlike me. The spacing for Phantom can be very strange and hard to get used to. I'd recommend just practicing Phantom. There's not any special trick to Phantom, really. You just kind of wail on her until she dies. But yeah, the best attack to punish is the one where she hops into the air, throws her pin across the room, and then dashes to it, because you get a bunch of free hits in. Other than that, if you hit a parry, it's like really hard to get hit by a parry, in my opinion, because if you hit a parry, all you have to do is jump and float, and she will never hit you, basically. Even if you do it in the air, especially if you do it in the air, you don't even need to jump. You just hit trigger it in the air on accident, and then you just sit on the ground and wait for her to come back down. But yeah, you just avoid the parries, hit her a bunch, and then she dies. That's the gist of it. Jump, float. Over the parry. She's a good attack. We get like 4 hits in for free if we're good at the game. You can also throw a spear after those attacks most of the time. She should stagger soon. It's also pretty easy to heal against her as well. If you trigger a parry, you can heal. If she starts an attack on the ground and you clock it early enough, you can heal. There's a lot of opportunities to heal in this fight. Also, every time you stagger her, she will always do the good attack where she jumps in the air and throws the pin. That's 100% of the time she will do that. At least in my experience. What the heck was that? Here's a second stagger. And then she does the jump throw attack, and now she screams through phase 2. And this you just run around, dodge the attacks. Super free. Last one is slower. You gotta watch out for that. There you go. Just good attack. Punish it. Punish it. Wow, we got 3 staggers. He should die soon here. Oh. And there you go. Pretty simple fight. Like I said, it could take some getting used to because the spacing on her attacks can be a little weird. But you know, just show a little mini save state beforehand and you should be fine for practicing stuff. And now we're in Act 2. Now, if for new runners especially, I will say you now have access to 2 different spells. You have access to the spear and the parry. If you want to play safer, the parry is very, very, very good at keeping you safe. It's very efficient against multiple bosses coming up, but it does hinder your damage output by a lot. The spear does 3 times your needle's damage, and the parry only does like 1.8. I think is the number, or maybe that's the buff number and it does 1.6 right now. I don't know, but the gist of it is I would recommend learning the spear tech because I think the same was true for Hollow Knight, but also in Silksong. I believe, this is my personal philosophy, this may not be everybody may not agree with this. I believe the best defense is a good offense. The enemies can't kill you if you're the enemies can't kill you if they're dead. As my humble opinion. Now, so like I said, parry is especially good against Lace 2. If you have a lot of trouble with Lace 2, parry is very good against her. But I would recommend, I call it the training wheel spell. You can use it, you know, for the speedrun or for like your first, for the speedrun achievement or for like your first run. But I would recommend putting on the big boy wheels and learning to use Silkspear, because it will become very, very nice for multiple things that you'll see in Act 2. Now, the first thing we do in Act 2 is we go to kill the cogwork dancers, or as I like to call it, the Gay Bug Ballet. That's my split name for it. And then we go to upgrade Nail 2. So we do have to fight one boss without the upgraded nail, but luckily cogwork dancers is not difficult at all. Because it actually turns out you can kind of script the first 2 phases, and then you just have to play the 3rd phase. I'll explain more when we get there. So there's a bunch of platforming you need to do before then, so I will just do that. I would explain things while this is happening, but this platform is actually kind of important to do, because if you get out of whack or like attract too many enemies' attention, it's you become very sad very fast. Put it that way. But yeah, this room's pretty fun to do. The same thing that we've been doing before. We hit this lever and then leave to skip the animation of the wheel turning around. And we actually hit this lever again because we're going to be going down through there horizontally later, and it saves again. It saves the time of having to wait for the lever. Or not the lever, for the whole wheel to finish turning before we make it through. On our way to the Gay Bug Ballet. The Gay Bug Ballet is my favorite ballet. Move over, Nutcracker. Basically, okay, it's hard to explain the damage rotation and run past these guys at the same time. You can just pug with these guys and hop over them. They're not that scary. There is a speedrun trick you can do to save some time. It's a little scary, but I assure you it's very safe. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate the fight. We're going to target the right cogwork dancer for the first 2 phases, and then for the 3rd phase, we're focusing the left. And I'll get to that in a second. So for the right cogwork dancer, for the first phase, you can actually stand right on top of him before they scream. And then when they scream, their hitbox activates. And normally you'd have to wait for the scream to be over before you can start hitting them. But if you get hit in the middle of the scream, you can actually act before you're supposed to. And you get a bunch of damage in for free. You can get like 2, like nail, spear, and they're already mostly dead. So we target the right one in the first phase because he actually does very, very good rotation for us to hit him a bunch. So he starts here on the bottom right. He'll go up in the middle here. So what it will look like, we'll stand on the left side of him. We'll do nail, spear for the scream skip. And then he comes to up here. We will jump and hit him a couple times. And then he'll comes down to the bottom here. And we'll jump over because they do like, you know, a wide attack on the ground here. We'll hit him a couple times there. We'll let him dash to the right. We'll jump over him again, and then he'll die in the bottom right here. And then I'll pause and explain the next phase when we get there as well. So, gates closed. We stand here. Oh, and save your silk for a heal before the second phase if you don't feel safe on 3 HP. But we're gonna stand here and get the scream skip. Nail spear, nail spear. Hit him a couple times, jump, hit him in the air. Jump over the attack, jump over this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's dead. And you have enough for a heal. There we go. And now the second phase, there are a couple different patterns they can do. The best pattern, in my humble opinion, is when they on the ground horizontally. Basically, you don't need to do the scream skip again, but we're just gonna keep wailing on him. I think this is it. Yeah, this is the good one. You know, he does this, and now he goes to the right. You get a spear for free. Let's dodge that attack as it comes. Okay, thanks, guys. That's what's sucking to run, because that loses a lot of time. I'm like, I don't get to listen to this music. Oops. So I'm off cycle now. But there we go. And now we're going to focus the left one, and you'll see why in a second. It's because the left one moves second always. So you get to wail on him more often than the right one. This one, the pattern is random for the most part. Oops. So you really do just have to practice this boss a decent amount and get used to how fast they are in phase 3. Unfortunately, there's no super easy, like, just do this and they die quickly. You just kind of have to react to how they move through the arena. Some people like they're doing the right one for phase 3. I personally like the left one because of the aforementioned, you get to hit them for free a bunch, especially if they do like a duo attack in phase 3, because then he stops moving again and you get to wail on him longer. But yeah. And this is why spear is also why the faster cycles is also why we took spear over parry. You can take parry. Like I said, it is safer. It's a free get out of jail card. Also, this is another save and quit. As soon as the second bug explodes, you can just save and quit and then skip the entire elevator rotating over sequence. That's just another example of what I was saying before about best defense being good offense. They died too fast, therefore they hit me less. Now this movement is very scary. Upper and lower cog is probably the most complicated movement of the whole run, especially for new runners. I would recommend just taking things slow, cloaking when you need to. This is a hard save, so if you die in lower cog, you just port back here, so it's not terrible if you die. I am going to do the movement that I know, and I would recommend learning it, because at the end of the day, it's not super difficult. You'll probably have to practice more on upper and lower cog movement than you will on any other part of the run if you're new. Not including bosses, of course, not including bosses, but like movement-wise, upper and lower cog are definitely the scariest. But like I said, just you're very allowed to take things slow, cloak when you need to, dodge enemies. Just don't rush, basically. Don't rush into speedrun characters. What do you mean? I mean, it's better to not take damage than it is to save time in this segment, because you also have to go into arena immediately afterwards. Okay, I didn't get my fast cycle, but that's fine. Yeah, cloak lets you do a lot. Cloak lets you get away with a lot of things here. So just play confidently and you'll get out here. Normally you would go up here and get this shortcut, but we actually come back through the same way after killing Trobbio and getting claw line. So yeah, we just make our way through here. Now this arena is pretty scary. It's not the scariest in the run, foreshadowing. But this damage cycle I'm going to do is very simple. Not very simple, but it shouldn't take much practice. This one is pretty easy to learn. We're going to kill this guy on the left first with 3 nail hits and then hit the flying guy once. We're going to pogo on the fat guy and get on the other side of the fat guy and spear them all at the same time. 2, 3, oh, 3, 3, 1, 2, spear them all at the same time. Kill. And we do 1, 2, spear them all. Kill, kill, kill. Spear these guys when they spawn. Try and kill the Beltor at first because they're the most annoying. But if that's not, just keep track of the bells and you should be fine. We're gonna do the same thing. Kill the spear guy on the ground. 2, 3, spear. Kill. 1, 2, 3. Kill, kill. And this guy, we're just gonna needle him 4 times and then spear him from the opposite side. And kill him like that. And there we go. That should take you like 20 minutes to do efficiently if you use safe to practice. And now we are going to get our second nail upgrade. Hallelujah. The run's about to get a lot easier. Okay, so we are going to open the shortcut to Trobbio first, which is what normally you're like, Cactus, the pale oil's over there. What are you doing? It's faster to unlock the shortcut to Trobbio first, so when you come back after upgrading the nail, you don't have to run all the way around again. Generally, you don't want to retread ground you've already trod in a speedrun. So just jump past this guy, open up the shortcut, and we're gonna go in this room here. Now this is a pogo that I found pretty scary at first, but you just lure this guy over here and then pogo off of him and get up to the ledge. You should practice that a little bit. You can do it while on low HP, but like I said, it's kind of scary. And then you just go in here and do this puzzle, quote unquote puzzle. You just hit all the boxes out of the way, super easy. Just like so. And now we grab the pale oil and we run right back out. Don't take the exit. You do not want to take the exit because it is slower to get back to the bellway than going through Trobbio's arena. But you don't go through his arena. You go like on the left side of him and then open the shortcut and then you go back into Trobbio. You fight Trobbio. So here we go. Through. Run on past Trobbio. We'll come back for you, my love. I love Trobbio. He's my goat. Open his shortcut. We're coming right back out here because the bellway is literally right here. So we grab the, open the bellway, get this whole animation like we have been this whole time. We are stagging to, or I guess belling, beasting? We're beasting. We are beasting to Bellheart, which is just one up. That's like the only menuing you have to do in the game. It's literally just one above the one you're currently on. Just push up once and then it'll be Bellheart. And then likewise when you're returning, you just push down. And here we upgrade our spear or needle a second time, which also buffs our spear damage by quite a bit. So spear becomes even better. Parry also becomes better, but like I said, best defense, good offense, etc. I prefer the spear. You use whatever is more comfortable because that's what's most important. Okay. And now we go back and fight Trobbio. Trobbio, where for out there, Trobbio. Trobbio is pretty scary. Most of his attacks deal 2 damage. All of his attacks deal 2 damage, actually, but his contact damage is 1. The most important part, I would say, for Trobbio is to stay safe. If you're scared of his tornado attack, don't interact with it. You can just run away and hit him with a spear. If you are scared of the balloons, whenever he starts a new attack, just take a step away, look for the trajectory of the balloons. Don't get hit, be safe. If you're super scared, you can spear the balloons to insta-kill them, but I believe you shouldn't have to do that. Also, it's not something you should resort to, but yeah. Other than that, hit Trobbio when he's in the air above you. You can run in after the tornado to grab a punish after the tornado goes off. But other than that, it's just survive, and then hit him when you can. So I will try and show what that's like. You can punish him. They can punish the tornado with a spear. I'll try and show that. But most of his other stuff, you just kind of hit him. So he dodged the balloons. Play safe, dodge the balloons. He's throwing more balloons. Dodge the balloons. You know, you kind of don't want to be under him if he's throwing balloons at the ceiling, because like you kind of saw, the balloon can go straight down and ruin your day. I'm just gonna take a heal here just to be safe. You can pogo the tornado. I would not recommend that though. Like I said, I recommend just dodging the tornado and getting to safety. Since you have nail 2, you're gonna be dealing enough damage. You don't have to worry about squeezing in every little bit you need that you can possibly get. So just like I said, play safe, run away. You can spear the tornado. Watch out for the balloons. Watch out for the explosions. Don't be over aggressive, basically. Trobbio really punishes being over aggressive. Like if you're too close when he starts a tornado, if you're too close when he throws a balloon, etc. Just play safe and smart and hit him when you can is the name of the game. Spear again. Explosion. Spear. That was a greedy spear. I could have gotten hit by those balloons. But he's close to dead, so I felt like squeezing in some damage. He's very close to dead. Dodge the balloons. Hit him. And he's dead. Oh! Oh! Yeah! Trobbio! So I would prioritize being safe over pushing damage in that fight. You can grab mirror. I like the mirror. I think it's good. You don't have to, but I like grabbing it. because you get a free equip here anyways. You can hit this lever. You don't need to ride the elevator. You can actually just leave and come back like we have been for the animation skips. And it's faster just to fall down the elevator shaft because you can't get a hard fall here. And then also it's important to send the elevator back up while you're waiting for this door to open. This room is super easy movement. You're basically just jumping and dashing. Jump, dash, jump, no, jumping. You jump dash for the first one, and the other one you're just spamming dash in the air. So jump, dash, dash in the air, dash in the air, dash in the air, dash in the air. It's just a bunch of dashing. You literally just holding left and dash in the underworks. I'm here for the claw line. Now, if you picked up the mirror, you can sit on this bench and equip it. If you didn't pick up the mirror, then just keep going over this way. This movement, I would recommend just taking this room slow, but you can't just fall in the middle here for a little bit and then go on this ledge here. Play safe for, oop. Okay. Just didn't want to grab the ledge there. I'd definitely recommend playing slow, using balloon, traversing carefully, waiting for lava. Don't take any, don't be too fast. Getting hit here and respawning loses a lot more time than just taking it slow. This skip is pretty easy right here. I'll show you. That's super, super free. You can take this damage because you get healed. You're gonna heal. Oh, hold on. You're gonna jump off this wall and float, and then you dash into this guy, and he will hit you, but you can just dash again and get on the ledge, and he will fall off the ledge. And then you come in here and get fully healed by the claw line anyways. So taking damage there, as long as you're not already too hurt from hitting a hazard or an enemy or something, is not too important. Next thing is this arena up here. We have nail too, so it's not that scary. Everything dies in like a claw line and or a spear. All right, first wave, we're gonna throw a spear and they just die. Oh, never mind. Spear and a hit. I also missed that one. Don't believe my lies. These flying guys, you can just harpoon them and then dash away immediately and you won't get hit by the explosion. These guys, you only need to hit twice each and then throw a spear and they die. Harpoon this guy. This guy, you can jump while he comes in. He won't hit you. Hit him 4 times and then spear and he'll die. And then more of these guys. And there we go. All right, you don't need to heal here. You can run back to the bench to the left to grab a full heal if you want. But actually, maybe you should. You should probably do that because this movement can be pretty scary if you're just learning it. But it also is not that bad, in my opinion. So we're coming this way, and we're going to go get the Architect melody, or not the Vault Keeper's melody, sorry, from below. We're just running all the way to the right, past these guys. Oops. They'll go off the spikes there. Harpoon past this guy. And there we go. You're home free. Nothing else can really hit you here. And there's also a bench up here you can grab, if you are in low HP at this point. Grab the bench. Right, we're on the home stretch here. All we have to do now is get the melodies and fight the final boss. So grab this and then we run back up immediately. There is a skip here you can do. I would recommend doing it the slow way. Actually, let's just do it the slow way. I'll do it the slow way. We don't need to teach you that. We don't need to fill your head with thoughts impure. Alright, so we're just working our way back up to the Vault Keeper, same way we went before. We already opened the shortcut because of the pale oil, so we don't need to open it now. To the Vault Keeper. Like I said, same menuing thing. The option is always yes, you don't need a menu. Don't worry about the Chinese. If there's ever an option, just hit the confirmation button. Here we are learning the first melody. And now we never see that guy again. Good riddance. All right, and here we're coming back up the same way we came in. Like I said before, instead of opening that shortcut and going from above, we are just running back through the way we came. Take the shortcut here. You don't have to worry about this guy spawning. You can just dash over him. Now is upper cog. Upper cog can be very scary, especially if you're just starting out. The movement looks not safe, but with cloak, it's actually very lenient because you can. There's a lot of harpooning, but you can literally just harpoon a gear and then air stall with the cloak. And you really don't have to worry about it that much at all. You can open that shortcut if you're not feeling safe. Open that shortcut and grab that safety bench to the left. But I am in the camp of upper cog movement is pretty easy. Now, you don't have to follow this movement I'm going to do. But I would also argue it's not that difficult to learn. It should take, like I said, upper and lower cog's probably going to take you the most time out of movement in the run. So if you're speedrunning, I would recommend learning this movement because it's not that difficult. At the same time, if you're doing it for the achievement, just go through here normally. no one's gonna be mad at you. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna harpoon off of this guy, and then onto this saw here, and pogo over here. Harpoon this saw again. Instead of waiting for this cycle, we're gonna harpoon or pogo these things and harpoon over here. Oops. And then you're gonna air stall there. And get onto that saw blade. Actually, no. You know what? I'm not gonna do the difficult movement. I'm just gonna do it normally for you guys, the viewer. This is a beginner speedrun. I said it was a beginner speedrun, and I meant it. I'll just do things normally for you. The movement I was gonna do is pretty difficult. You can actually have this guy through the floor, so you don't have to deal with him. Open the gate. Actually, this one I would recommend doing the skip here. Hold on. If you pogo off of these guys, you can pogo off of this saw, float, pogo, or harpoon again, and then skip that whole left segment. That one is not hard. I will stand by that one. You can do that one. That one's easy. Oh. I ran out of silk. Silly me. Gotta do it again. Okay. And here we go. Easy peasy, what'd I say? Now, this movement, you don't have to do this. You can just solve the puzzle normally. This puzzle is the same every single time you enter this room. You don't need to learn all the different patterns, thank God. Then the way it goes from top to bottom, from left to right, 1, 3, 3, 3, that's the number of times you need to hit the levers. 2003, 111, 1102. So 1, 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, 0, 3, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 2. Now I'm gonna do the fast movement that looks super cool, but like I said, it's the same thing every time. So you don't. I'll just do this. I'll show off a bit. 1, 2. I'm not showing off. No. Never mind. I will not show off. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1. But yeah, just remember 1333, 2003, 111, 1102. 1333, 2003, 111, 1102. That's all you need to know. Those are the only numbers you ever need in your brain. Let me get our second melody. Now the third melody, arguably the hardest, because you have to go through the dreaded arena that shall not be named in the high halls. And getting there also is no easy task because the high halls themselves are really annoying. There's a couple safety benches you can grab though, which we will be grabbing. Now you could save and quit here for max health. It's a hard save, so you get put right back there, so you can just save and quit. But this movement out isn't that hard. You just do 3 pogos here, 1 pogo here, harpoon out, and then dash, and that's it. And there you go. Now you could also grab that safety bench down here at the bottom if you don't want to do that fall sequence again. But if you feel safe enough, we can just start heading straight to the high halls for the last melody. Some silly little movement. These enemies can be annoying. If you just play it safe, bait that guy to the right so you don't fall into him, you should be fine. Oops. Whoa. Harpoon is your friend, I would say. If you are new to the optimal Silksong movement, harpoon is very nice, and also cloak, just air stalling. Now this is kind of hard, but I recommend learning to do those pogos on the right side because that bell thrower is a nuisance, to say the least. You don't have to deal with that guy at all, so I would recommend doing that. It'll take a couple tries to get used to because the spacing of the pogo is weird. But here's that first safety bench I was talking about. I've been talking a lot. Voice is starting to hurt. Luckily, we're almost at the end, so no big deal. Now, if you want to get full silk, there's a little thing to the left here you can get full silk on for this segment. You don't have to, but it can be nice for a new runner. Oops. Silly little hitbox of the float. Oops. Do as I say, not as I do. This guy, you can just jump and pogo and then dash over him and harpoon, and he will not get in your way. If you activate him early, that's not like a super big issue, but you know, just be mindful. There's a cycle, there's a little skip here you can do by activating this guy on from the right side and harpooning off of him, but we're just gonna go this way. We're just gonna go the left way. Oh no, this is a little more sketchy. So these guys up to the top right can be very, very annoying. There's gonna be 2 of those helmet heads that spawn up here. You can just get past them by dashing off this platform immediately and jumping, and they shouldn't be able to spawn in time. If they do spawn in time, you can try harpooning off of the right one and getting over it that way, or wait to react to what they do and then get past them that way. So I'm gonna try running past them. That doesn't always work for me because I'm not good at the game. And there we go. So like I said, scary. And this part's, you can just float. There's some really technical movement you can do here with pogos and dashes and, you know, but that's very not safe. So just float down. There's no shame in just floating. That's what my good friend Donkey Kong used to say. You want to be spicy, you can release it right here just for some free time. Because it's just kind of falling right there. And there we go. Now we're at the most dreaded part of the run. And I do not say that lightly. This is the hardest boss in the run. This is the High Halls Arena. HHA for short. Their only tips I have for this is practice, practice, practice. I could give a tip for every single wave, and I'll try to do that. I'll try to pause after every wave. But the most important thing for this is just, unfortunately, is just practice, because there's a lot of RNG involved. Enemies will do different patterns. Sometimes they don't spawn in the correct spot. If you're standing in a weird spot in the room, the big guys can give you RNG that just kind of screws you over. So it is just, practice is the name of the game with this one. Like I said, I'll try and give some helpful tips here. But for the most part, good luck. We do have nail too, so it is going to be a lot easier than normal. But yeah, anyways, so for the first wave, the scream is going to happen, the enemies are going to activate. I recommend running over and doing the same thing we did in the first arena and killing the sword guy on the ground who does the thread attack. All you have to do is needle him 3 times and then hit him with a spear, and that's fine. But there's going to be a lance tiny guy that spawns on the right here. So instead of spearing him right away, what we're going to do is we're going to hit him 3 times. We're going to jump over the lance guy that's coming at us, and then we're going to spear them both so they both die. And then we're going to kill the flying guy as we can, because he will float away from us. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Here comes the lance guy. Spear them both and they die, and then just kill this guy. Like I said, needle 2 makes this so much easier. Okay, second wave is just 2 of the thread guys. We're gonna do the same thing. Needle the left guy 3 times. Spear so that the spear hits both of them. 2, 3. Spear so it hits both of them. 1, 2, 3. This wave is... This wave, don't go for a kill or a spear until the spider thingy spawns, and then you can hit them all with the spear at the same time. So we just tap them for a bit of damage, tap the bell thrower some damage, wait for them all to group up, and then throw the spear when like 2 or 3 of them are together for a bunch of free damage. This wave is 2 of the helmet guys. I'm going to hit the left one. I'm going to try to hit the left one 3 times. They die in 3 hits and a spear. And there's a spider thing that spawns this wave, but only after you kill one of the enemies. So I'm going to kill this one on the left. Hit him 3 times, bait this one into an attack. Okay, I got hit there, but that's fine. I'm still going to go for a spear. See, he dies, and then we can... These guys are not that scary, thankfully. You can kind of just hit them. Now, these guys are fun. Just dodge their attacks and hit them. And I would recommend saving your silk for health. As soon as you get enough health, wait until they throw an attack and then heal. They'll basically never hit you. It's safest underneath them, also. Directly underneath them, it's pretty hard to get hit. There are niche situations where you can get hit when that happens, but just for the most part, stand underneath them, jump up, and nail them when they get in range. Now this guy, these guys are scary. I will admit these guys are scary. We do have needle 2. We aren't using barbed, so we have some elbow room. What you're gonna do is you're gonna hit him until he starts an attack animation, and then just run away. And then wait to see what attack it is, and then depending on what attack it is, you can punish him accordingly. So he has a couple attacks. He can do a grounded mace swing. That's the scariest one because it has the shortest wind-up animation. That's the one you just have to run away from and then run back in and hit him again. He has one where he starts a chain of explosions on the ground, in which case you literally just keep hitting him repeatedly. That's the best attack to get. You hit him repeatedly, and you get to punish him a lot. There's a jumping slam, in which case you just run underneath him, and then there's an explosion slam, and it's the same thing. You just run underneath him. So basically, you're just hitting him a lot. You can get a free spear in here for damage, but hit, run away. He's doing this one. Punish, keep punishing. Run away, run back in. Run away, run back in. Punish, and he's dead. So yeah. Hit him a couple times, run away, see what he's doing, run back in, hit him a couple times, run away, etc. This wave, if you're to get on the wall and spear them early. Oh my god, they die in once. That's so nice. I didn't know they die in one hit. And then kill these guys like normal. Wait until they fall into range. This wave, this wave is the same deal. There's a thread guy. We're gonna kill him first with 3 nails and a spear. If you do it fast enough, the bell throwers won't have time to throw a bell before he dies. However, there is RNG where he can throw a grounded attack at you. So I recommend hitting him 3 times and then dashing away and then turning around and then sparing him. So you can't get caught off guard like that. That's the exact RNG. And then you can just kind of dodge the bells. And then, you know, same thing. Spear them, kill them. This wave can be scary. It's going to be 2 helmet guys on either side and a bell thrower in the middle. I recommend hitting the butt of this left helmet guy once upwards, and then the bell thrower once, and then sparing them both. Because this kind of gets them floating out of the way. Like floating away from you. The flying AI in this game is really weird. But yeah. And then this one also, you can kind of jump and spear them both if you, oops, get good RNG, which I did not. Oops. Alright, so I should save up for a heal here. Which I can get, wait for him to do an attack. Okay. After he does an attack, he can basically always heal. He doesn't do attacks quickly. Just run away, wait for him to do an attack. Alright, so this is the double one. If you have full silk, you can do a punish with Trobbio's mirror here, where you can hit them with the mirror as they fall into the arena. If you don't have that, I would spear, and if you don't have the spear, I would say just focus on the left guy. Generally, and I do say generally because it isn't always the case, but generally, only one of them will attack at a time, and there are exceptions for that. For example, if one is doing an explosion slam, like overhead slam attack, do not be in between them when that happens. I would recommend whichever one is doing the jump slam, run underneath them. Just run underneath them to the opposite side. You don't want to be near the other guy because it does something weird with their AI, and it basically makes them sometimes launch into an attack and sometimes not. You just don't want to deal with it. But I would say start in the middle. If you start next to the wall, it is farther away from one of them. But if the close one does a grounded slam attack, then you're kind of in a sticky spot because you have to get past him, over him somehow, and then you're in the middle of them anyways. So it's like, you know, just stay in the middle. React accordingly. When one of them starts an attack, like it doesn't matter which attack it is now. If one of them starts an attack, dash over to the other one and start hitting the other one because they won't attack you most of the time. But this is just one of those things. Like I said, practice makes perfect for this one. You kind of really do just have to practice this wave. So anyways, let's give it a try. So we're getting a spear for early damage. He attacks, we run over. He's attacking, so we run over. Here's the explosion. I messed up. I should be on the opposite side of him. I did not follow my own advice. I apologize for that. Now we're kind of, oh, in this case, you just get over them with the claw line. Now we're on a good spot of them, so we just stand over here. Hit them, run away, hit them, run away. And now there's only one left, so it's the same thing. Hit, run away, wait to see what he's doing. Hit, run away, hit, punish, and there we go. Now that will take practice. That will take practice. You're not going to get it right away. It's okay. This is the hardest part of the run. Nobody likes it. Just do your best. Practice, practice, and you will get it down eventually, especially with Nail 2. With Nail 2, it'll be much easier for you. Definitely achievable with practice. Okay, and now we're at the very end of the run. We have 2 bosses in our way. Lace 2, honestly, is probably harder than Grandmother Silk, especially at Needle 2. Because my Grandmother Silk, you just kind of beat up. She dies pretty fast. Lace can be scary. Now, if you've seen any high-level speedrun, you've probably seen the claw line tech where you nail claw line, dash downwards to cancel the jump animation so you can hit them again faster. We're not going to do that. That's not, you don't need that for a beginner speedrun level. So I would say Lace is kind of like Trobbio in that All of her attacks deal 2 damage, so she's scary, so I would focus more on survivability and punishing with spears and just attacks when you can. Now, there are certain attacks that are more easily punishable than others. For example, especially if you're using the mirror, there is a free punish for when she does a parry. If you trigger the parry and then jump and do a heal, you won't get hit no matter what, because she always kind of aims at the ground where you are, and you'll always hit her with the mirror. So if you need a heal, you can do a cheeky thing like that. For the most part, you can also get a heal in if you just jump across the arena and do a heal while she starts another attack. Or like, as soon as she starts an attack, run away, jump, do a heal. She usually can't track you down that easily. Anything else I need to talk about? I guess I could talk about the specific punishes, or like how to dodge each attack. So she's always going to start the fight with a grounded 3-swing combo. You can dash into her and get 2 hits for free and then back away. Pretty simple. You can also, okay, what's the parry is an attack, like I said, that's easily punishable. As long as you just hit the parry and then jump and float and like kind of react to which direction she's coming from. And then she has the grounded swoop into pooper scooper. I call it the pooper scooper because its hitbox is big and it can scoop you up and it's annoying. I'll make a save state here. I was kind of trying to talk about it as I go through the fight. It should end pretty fast with Needle 2. Like I said, I'm not going to do the claw line tech. I'm just going to fight her normally and punish her with spears. And we'll go from there. Okay, so like I said, being in the fight, you can dash in and get a couple attacks. You can get 1 hit in usually in between her attacks. Spear her like that. Bam. You can get 1 spear in, run away. 1 spear in, run away. 1 spear. There we go. He's already in phase 2. That's pretty crazy. Jump, float, like I said. Run away. Get a hit, run away. Spear the punish. Hit, run. Oop. I got hit there. Am I gonna die? That'd be embarrassing. Like I said, wait for an attack to start and you usually have time to heal. Hit her, run away. Dash underneath her. Parried her, so we jump. 1, 2, run away. Jump, jump. For the attack when she goes up in the air like this, you basically always want to be underneath her. It's pretty much impossible to be hit. Like you saw, I kind of had to squeeze out of those circles there, but yeah. Just stand underneath her. You can always punish her with a spear. You can punish this with a spear as well. Run away. Hit her. Hit her, run away. Spear the punish. And there you go. Needle 2, like I said, it doesn't trivialize the fight. You will need to practice this. But like I said, hit her a couple times. Like after an attack, hit her just once, run away. Wait until she gives you a good punish. Hit her, run away, hit her, run away. You can get spear punishes in a lot. If you trigger a parry, if you get underneath her and that when she goes over you attack, like you saw me do a couple times, you can spear her when she lands and that's completely free punish. The grounded attack is pretty safe to hit her on her back if you jump over her. Yeah, just like Trobbio, just play safe. Focus on maintaining HP over dealing damage. Needle 2 is strong enough that just by fighting her normally, you'll DPS her pretty quickly. All right, and now we're on the final boss, Grandmother Silk. After only, how long have we been recording for? 1 hour and 48 minutes. Not even that bad, and I've been yapping a lot of the time too. Like if you're actually just doing a run, you'll probably be at like an hour, like a little over an hour at this point, maybe. Anyways, leave lace here. Now for Grandmother Silk, there is one little speedrun tech that I will recommend you do. There is a thing, I don't know if it counts as a cancel or what, but as you know, Grandmother Silk floats in the air, and we have a hard time getting in the air. Hornet's verticality is not great unless you're using Clawline, but I said I wasn't going to use Clawline because that's kind of advanced tech. And this is a tutorial for beginners. So what I will say is you can just jump and hit her like this, but if you really want to squeeze in the extra damage, you can nail. You see how much faster, like I'm pushing nail as fast as I can right now. You see how much faster it comes out if I do a dash in between the 2 nails? So that's the strat for Grandmother Silk, is you dash, nail, dash, nail. And you can kind of just wail on her and keep a pinky of awareness on the spears as they come. Obviously in phase 1 isn't that scary, especially with Needle 2. And then phase 2, I mean, like I said, Grandmother still just kind of floats around and lets you hit her a bunch. So you may need to practice this fight a little bit, but for the most part, you're kind of just wailing on her. So I will do my best to wail on her. Show you guys what a good fight looks like. Wait for the attack. You know what? Yeah, probably should stop hitting her. As soon as you see an attack or hear an attack start to charge, just stop hitting her and focus on dodging the attack. Here goes the spears. Focus on dodging and then hit her again. When you stagger her, you can just throw a spear. Hit her a bunch. Oh, I got hit there. Oh, that was a silly heal. There's an attack. Focus on dodging the attack. Overhitting her. And bam, you're already in phase 2. Dude, Needle 2 is so stupid strong. I haven't used Needle 2 in a while. It's so nice. But yeah. I would say you could probably get like a good, if you don't do the dash check, you could probably get a good 3 hits in before you should like just do 1, 2, or like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. Wait for an attack to happen. If she's in the rock like this, you can punish her with a spear. You can actually hit these away if you needle them twice. Focus on dodging the attack. 3. Wait for an attack to happen. 1, 2, 3. Spear. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Wait for an attack to happen. 1, 2. Dodge the attack. Yeah, I'd say maybe 2 attacks for if you're really safe. You can go for 3 maybe. 2. Dodge the attack. 1. Oh, dodge the attack. Woo! Dodge the attack. Dodge the attack. Woo! How did I not get hit there? 1, 2. Wait for an attack. 1, 2. Nice. 1, 2. Spear. And there you go. Needle 2 is crazy. Now, I will say if you are using parry, if you chose to use parry for all of Act 2, I would definitely recommend swapping to Spear for GMS, specifically because you can save some damage with parry against GMS, but it's very, very hard to deal damage to GMS with parry. And Silkspear just does so much damage against her. Like you saw, I got here so fast. I killed her so fast with the Silkspear. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You've now completed a run of Silksong. Huzzah! Achievement get. Good job. You did it. Now, like I said, if you need to go back and practice anything, look at the chapters. I did my best to explain that I could. Hopefully this can get you that achievement or, you know, get that first speed run. I would say an average time for someone first doing the speed run is around 2 hours. So like about the length of this tutorial. So if you die a couple times, if you mess up your strat, if you get bench warped, do not sweat it. Silksong is a very hard game. Much, much harder run than Hollow Knight for sure. I would say the #1 thing to know when going into speedruns is 90%. I'm not joking when I say this. Speedrunning is 90% mentality, 10% mechanics. 90% of the time, you're going to be in your own head about, ah, frick, I messed this up. I'm playing terribly. I should just reset. 90% of speedrunning is your mental. 10% mechanics. Just as long as you remember that. Don't get too discouraged. Focus on what you've practiced or some of the strats that I've listed here, and you should be able to get out just fine. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.